Friday effectively prevents him from running against Maduro in next year's poll. And Sweden's Prime Minister has told the families of the victims of Friday's truck attack they are not alone after the country held a minute of silence. Stefan Löfven said all of Sweden's thoughts were with them following a ceremony outside Stockholm City Hall, also attended by the mayor and most of the Swedish royal family. 4 people died and 15 were injured when a hijacked truck was driven into a department store in central Stockholm. Anus Beckman, age 39, is the main suspect. And this concludes your lunchtime news update, brought to you compliments Fresh Vitamins. I'm Linda Martin. Do join us again at 4 for the Prime Evening News Update. Good afternoon.
At Fresh Vitamins, we've got everything you need for health and well-being. We carry a wide range of all-natural sports nutrition and health supplements, plus gluten-free and organic foods, all from quality brands, including Solaray, Cal, Bob's Red Mill, Nature's Way, Source Naturals, and Desired Away. Fresh Vitamins has 2 convenient locations. We're at number 7, Great George Street, Roseau, and we're in Portsmouth, inside IGA Whitchurch Supermarket. Join our discount club and save up to 20% every day on your purchases. Like us on Facebook to stay informed about our products and specials. Come into Fresh Vitamins today and get healthy.
In other news, NBD has dropped their interest rate on vehicle loans to 7.5%.
Babe, turn up the volume on the radio.
The bank encourages customers to take advantage of this opportunity to get full financing on a vehicle with this low rate from now until May 15.
Did you hear that? 7.5% interest rate and full financing?
What's more, 3 lucky customers will get their vehicle license paid for up to 3 years. Visit a branch, call 255-2300 or go to nbdominica.com for more information and other terms and conditions.
Hun, I'm off to NBD.
Babe, wait for me.
Apply for your vehicle loan today. NBD, your partner, your bank.
Interesting times in Dominica. I heard the Prime Minister saying this morning, maybe we'll play that a little later, too much party politics in Dominica, huh? Interesting coming from the Prime Minister. But this is Talk on the Block, and of course a lot more. This, I imagine some developments, we'll talk about that. Joshua Francis is stopping by this afternoon. You know, I want to say good afternoon to Joshua. How you doing?
I'm fine, Matt. Good afternoon to you and good afternoon to your listeners, especially the people of the Roseau South constituency and the people of the Cali.
It's interesting that you're stopping by this afternoon. When I was just walking in, I was confronted by somebody in the street. Always happens. Mr. Peter Karam was making a lot of noises about some issue as it relates to a client that he had in this place for how many years. And he's saying that he doesn't think that Joshua Francis is handling the matter well. Joshua, you know anything about Peter Karam and representation?
Well, first of all, let me say good afternoon to Peter Karam and his family. I hope all is well with him. This is a constituent of the Roseau South constituency. I have known Mr. Karam since I was a child. I knocked on Mr. Karam's door to sell my cabbage and my carrots when I was a child. And Mr. Karam continues to be a constituent of the Roseau South constituency. I have utmost respect for him and his family. He knows that I love him and I love his family. I am representing a gentleman who appears to have some dispute with Mr. Karam, and this is a professional matter, and I'm taking care of it professionally. I have absolutely nothing personal against Mr. Karam. I will never have anything personal against him unless if he makes certain things personal.
Why is he making it public? I don't understand.
Well,
it's a client, lawyer, privilege, that kind of thing. You represent a client who came, from what I gather, to you for representation. Should you decline?
Matt, sometimes I decline certain matters based on conflict of interest, or if the matter is going to be in such a contentious situation that may be adverse to the client or to the other party or to myself. This is not one of the situations. Somebody came to yours truly to deal with a matter, and I have dealt with it professionally. Of course, Mr. Karam has his own prerogative and his own personal disposition to ascertain how he will handle the matter. I will not come here to ventilate or articulate on the content or substance of the matter with which I am dealing with. I just want to say publicly that the information or conversation between myself and Mr. Karam, which has been circulated in the public domain, is unfortunate. And I'm sure Mr. Karam was hearing Joshua Francis. Joshua Francis want to put it on public record that he has absolutely anything against Mr. Karam and his family. It's a family I love, and I will continue to respect.
All right. But I know you didn't come in just for that, Joshua Francis. You spoke to me just before lunchtime, and I heard voices in the background, almost sounding like a vendor's issue. You know, in a fish market, something's going on?
Yeah, well, Matt, I was in court this morning, and I went to the vendor's market to get some information in regards to a client of mine. And while being in the market, a number of vendors approached me and expressed concerns about the conditions of the market. They have concerns about their tables, their umbrellas, the general ambience of the place. They feel and think that the government of Dominica has not done enough and seem to care less about their plight and their concerns. So this afternoon, I want to take the opportunity to ask the public to become more cognizant and more aware of the concerns of the vendors at the market. These are hardworking people, especially the women of the land. Many of them come from different areas, particularly the rural places of Dominica, and they're working very hard, and they're looking for better conditions to make a dollar. They complain that their revenue has dropped considerably. They told me that they have been receiving severe and sharp competition from the supermarkets, and
but who's to be blamed though for that? Who's to be blamed?
Well,
who should replace the tables? Who should give them better working environment, a better working environment?
But there is a market board. There is a market board. I think Mr. Carbon is responsible for the upkeep of the market, and as I told the vendors, they must approach him, discuss the matter with him, and see how we can assist. But given that the government ultimately is responsible for the allocation of funds, the vendors are of the view that the government has not done enough for them. They're at a certain chain along the agricultural sector. These vendors play a very important role. One vendor said to me that in the past she made as much as $5,000 a day. Today she makes over $100. She said she's suffering. Her sales has dropped, and the conditions on the market are not the best. So I felt I will take the opportunity to speak on behalf of the vendors, and for those responsible and listening, I call on them to do better for these vendors. These are generally poor people. These are people who are working extremely hard, and they're not seeing their way. So if we can facilitate improvement of the market conditions, not just for the vendors, but for the general outlook of Roseau and Dominica by extension, let us do it. It's unfortunate that the market is located in an area where we gather garbage. I don't know.
Are you saying that a lot more can be done for Roseau though?
Well, definitely, Matt. A lot more should be done for Roseau. This is the capital of Dominica, and we have neglected.
But over
Roseau.
the years, I've heard promises and promises by the politicians.
Well, a lot of politicians are guilty for that. Wrong, deceiving people, especially politicians within the rank and file of the Dominica Labour Party. They are known to have a political DNA of deception. They go around and make empty promises. And we have heard a lot of promises for the development of the Roseau area and the Roseau catchment areas. We are hoping that the promises will come into fruition. Unfortunately, that's not the case. We have a congestion problem, and I'm not too sure whether the government has any vision to deal with that congestion problem in Roseau. We continue to have an environmental situation in Roseau. You know, issue of sanitization, the drain conditions, the quality of the roads. You know, when we look at the general situation in Roseau, there are a lot of areas for improvement.
I know, Joshua Francis, that you did not come in just for that, but I'll take the opportunity or advantage to ask you about it. It has to do with a statement made by the Honorable Prime Minister, and when we come back, we'll talk a little about that. This is, of course, Talk on the Block.
When searching for stuff in Dominica,
you looking for the best mechanic? Swing left by the mango tree. You'll see a galvanized fence, take a right, then 2 lefts.
search with Yellow.
Pass by the church, take a right, and you'll get to the vet.
Yellow's been in Dominica over 30 years.
The best beach for a picnic, turn right at the stop sign.
So you get island expertise.
But remember to stop at the stop sign.
Just like asking a Dominican. Search Yellow. We know Dominica. Find us at findyellow.com.
Kingdom Connection on Q95, the big station, every Monday 6 to 8 p.m. Enlightened and spiritually sound minds bringing light and encouraging community in challenging and spiritually dark times. Kingdom Connection talking points pursue community education and spiritual enlightenment, biblical principles in leadership, management, and direction of society. Kingdom Connection. Call us at 767-449-3095, 3096-3097, or 767-616-4257 or 305-432-9624. Stay connected to Kingdom Connection, looking to help reduce incidents of crime and violence, improve social interaction in family and community, and to help enhance economic fortunes guided by biblical principles. Kingdom Connection. Tune in every Monday 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. only on Q95, the big station. Blessings for all in the Q family. Right on Q.
In the Spotlight on Q95 FM radio every Monday night from 8 p.m. In the Spotlight, featuring people from all walks of Dominican life, spotlighting their triumphs and tragedies, dreams, hopes, and aspirations, untold stories, touching the human and personal side of our people in politics, religion, sports, business, music, culture, the media, and more. Getting to know our farmers, public servants, youth, the ordinary Dominican. Listen to their stories. No limitations, no restrictions, no holds barred. In the Spotlight, we'll also spotlight interesting topics, issues, and relevant situations. Don't miss In the Spotlight on Q95 FM radio every Monday night from 8 p.m.
Well, as I said to you, Joshua Francis, I know that was not your main purpose for coming in this afternoon on, of course, Talk on the Block. But I heard a very interesting statement from the Prime Minister sometime this morning I thought that I could ask you about. DNO reports it as Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit has decried what he said is the amount of party politics in Dominica, which seems to be permeating every aspect of Dominican society. Speaking recently, he said Dominicans should be more nationalistic in their discussions on the island. Quote, I find, ladies and gentlemen, in this country is too much party politics. You go in churches, it's politics. Now you have people interpreting the Bible based on who they support. When our children go to school, they are treated based on who the teacher is and who the teacher is supporting. He said, the same thing happens in government departments at the hospital. You go to a government department, you go to the hospital, people treat you based on who they think you are supporting. Joshua Francis, I want you to respond. This is a very interesting statement coming from the Prime Minister.
Well, it's not just an interesting statement, it's a very profound statement, and there's veracity in that statement. Of course, he being the Prime Minister and making that remark.
Is it truthful though?
There is an element of truth in that statement. Dominica has been very political. People are politically charged. The question is, how did we get there? Who is responsible for that? It's interesting to note that the leader of divisiveness in the country is making a remark. He's fully culpable, he's fully responsible, and to make it appear that he is not responsible.
So he's pointing fingers, and the finger should be pointing back at him?
Well, definitely. The Dominican Labour Party-led government has been the leader in divisiveness on the island. Never before we have had a type of politics where families are divided as a result of politics. The Dominican Labour Party is known to use politics to divide. They have used the method of divide and rule. When a government uses a method of divide to rule, then you're going to have such consequences. It's the Dominican Labour Party-led government that got involved in political religion, whereby the government has seen it fit to finance certain religious movements. Just before the last general election, isn't it true, Matt, that the Prime Minister and his government gave a certain amount of money to the Catholic Church in Dominica? Isn't that the case?
That's correct.
And do you think that the Prime Minister...
500,000.
So here you go. Do you think that he did that out of righteousness? Is it because he wanted to spread evangelism on the island, or he did it to seduce Catholics to support his Dominican Labour Party? Isn't it true that there are certain religious persons who use the pulpit asking for support for the Roosevelt Skerrit administration? Isn't it true that some of these religious persons are very close associates of the Prime Minister, and not only they ask for support, they defend certain political atrocities on the island? Isn't that true, Matt? Isn't that naked truth? Isn't that objective truth? So to hear the Prime Minister make that remark, to make it appear that he is not responsible, then it is a lie. I do agree that we have allowed politics to divide us in many respects. But again, that goes back to the type of political system that we have. The Westminster system, winner takes all, is divisive by nature. It's unfortunate that in this modern world, that policymakers and politicians sometimes use the very tool that was used to oppress black people. We know the divide and rule method was used in Africa, was used in many other parts of the world to suppress certain groups. And the type of political tribalism which is taking place on the island, it is vast, it is deep, and the only way it can change is with a different leadership. So the Prime Minister is right, and if he really cares about that, he needs to step aside. He needs to go to allow a new leader with a vision like Team Dominican United Workers Party, as demonstrated and shown by the Honorable Lennox Linton. Our party is a party of inclusiveness. That is why we refer to ourselves as Team Dominica, because we understand that Dominica is more than us. Dominica involves everybody, in spite of creed, in spite of socioeconomic background, in spite of religion. So we believe in inclusion, we believe in oneness. Joshua Francis, Lennox Linton, among other members of the United Workers Party, are calling on Dominicans to think as one unit.
Okay, I suspect this is going to blow off. Too much party politics in Dominica. Prime Minister Skerrit says, is he talking the truth? Let's take a phone call. Hello. Are you there, caller? I guess you missed out. Hello. Hello.
Blessings to you, bro.
To you too.
Josh, blessings to you, my brethren.
Yeah, blessings, man.
Well, last night, Josh, Matt, you should have been there. Where the water were good, Matt? Josh.
Yes, correct.
Josh was on fire last night, man.
Where was that?
I was there.
Oh, you were there. Okay.
And I know.
Joshua, you spoke last night?
Yes, I did at what in Wigan.
I have to commend him, Matt.
Okay.
Because the man look like a well-seasoned politician right now, you know. So I don't know, he passed through the fire and now he's in the water, and you agree anybody that says him, they will be drowned.
All right.
Matt, it's very interesting, you know. Josh, blessings to you and your family, my brethren, on the whole side.
Same to you, sir.
Matt, it's very interesting. Coming from Roosevelt Skerrit, the last election, he went to Wesley and he told them, if they allow the opposition to win, the blood of the nation will be on their hands. That's the same man who tells Dominicans they're too free, right in the parliament with no objection from the Speaker of the House, Matt.
Okay.
And that's the same man who, have said nothing when the Speaker of the House said, if you're not ready, you're better off dead. And the whole polarization, Matt. Look at what happened to the so-called $18 million bridge, Matt. So if we need to be more nationalistic, more patriotic, and what's the other word he used? We need to be more what, Matt? Nationalistic, that's the word he used? My brother, all the man children is being born overseas. The man barely live on the island. It's these days now. You see they picking up Monfared, they pick up Francesco Corallo and Angela Peng. So these days now in Dominica, he's scared. He don't know if they're going to pick him up. But it's the man that is the master of divisiveness. And you have a particular priest. Why he's not restricting him or cautioning him? And Skerrit is the master of divisiveness, King. So in every aspect of our social, religious, and political affairs, my brother, he is a man, well, is the be it all and end it all, is Roosevelt Skerrit. So why he's not intervening publicly and tell them, stop with that? But what he usually does, Matt, you see something like that, he disappears. No one knows where he goes. So then he leave us talking. Roosevelt Skerrit talk about too much divisiveness. You go in the hospital, you go everywhere. That's a man that have destroyed families, Matt, and continue to destroy families, my brother. That's a man that tried to jail the leader of the opposition. So when that two-tongue and two-face, that snake tongue or fuck tongue come in and talk this foolishness, Matt, we should just discard it, but it's just a pity out of respect for you. And Josh, I wanted to big him up based on last night because, trust me, the man was like a freight train, so I just leave it there. Blessings, I'm listening.
Blessings. Let's take another phone call. Too much divisiveness, says the Prime Minister. Talk to me.
Yes, he told the Labour Party supporters to harass the UWP supporters anywhere they meet them, on the streets, in the funeral, in the planes, anywhere. That is not divisiveness. I find he have a short memory. I suspect he want to come on your radio station, Matt. Invite him and he'll come.
I've invited him many, many times, every time I get the opportunity. Hello.
Mabrika.
Mabrika.
To the listening public. Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, my boy, good luck to you. You have all the deception, disfranchise, dissemble, divisive, and you still have drivel. That are the characteristics of Honorable Roosevelt, Dr. Elias Skerrit. But don't worry, the tree that you have planted, the tree is in full bloom, Mr. Skerrit, and that is what you have created in this Dominica. So thank you for your acknowledgement of your good works you have done in this country. You will surely be one to go down in history. Thank you very much. I'm listening.
Blessed too. All right. Thank you very much. I just repeated a statement there by the Prime Minister. Too much divisiveness in Dominican politics. That's coming from the leader of the Labour Party. Hello. Are you there, caller? No, I suspect we haven't connected yet. Hello.
Matt, Mr. Skerrit is the one that divide Dominica. Never has Dominica been so divided. And Mr. Skerrit knows the truth. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay. So everybody's blaming you. Something, they said 69 Frenchmen can be wrong or 99 Frenchmen can be wrong. Something about that. Hello, talk to me.
Matt, good afternoon.
To you, sir.
To Mr. French.
Are you one of those who are being divisive?
Matt, divisive or not, I can only tell you that Roosevelt Skerrit sat at his convention where they never casted a vote. They said, we're just going to leave it as is. And he sat there and called the opposition these bastards. Yeah? And if you look into his past, who is officially won? You see, he calls people what he is. And you can see it from that statement. And he's done that over and over again. There's so many examples of where he just sort of wants to turn around his bad qualities onto the opposition. But we know that he's the one carrying all those bad qualities. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, too. We're taking a break and we're coming back. It's 1:26. We need to take a break now. Come back after this.
Looking for stuff in Dominica?
You looking for the best mechanic? Swing left by the mango tree. You'll see a galvanized fence, take a right, then 2 lefts.
Search with Yellow.
Pass by the church, take a right, and you'll get to the vet.
Yellow's been in Dominica over 30 years.
The best beach for a picnic, turn right at the stop sign.
So you get island expertise.
But remember to stop at the stop sign.
Just like asking a Dominican. Search Yellow. We know Dominica. Find us at findyellow.com.
Kingdom Connection on Q95, the big station, every Monday 6 to 8 p.m. Enlightened and spiritually sound minds bringing light and encouraging community in challenging and spiritually dark times. Kingdom Connection talking points pursue community education and spiritual enlightenment, biblical principles in leadership, management, and direction of society. Kingdom Connection. Call us at 767-449-3095, 3096, 3097, or 767-616-4257 or 305-432-9624. Stay connected to Kingdom Connection, looking to help reduce incidents of crime and violence, improve social interaction in family and community, and to help enhance economic fortunes guided by biblical principles. Kingdom Connection. Tune in every Monday, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Only on Q95, the big station. Blessings for all in the Q family. Right on Q.
In the Spotlight on Q95 FM radio, every Monday night from 8 p.m. In the Spotlight, featuring people from all walks of Dominican life, spotlighting their triumphs and tragedies, dreams, hopes, and aspirations, untold stories, touching the human and personal side of our people in politics, religion, sports, business, music, culture, the media, and more. Getting to know our farmers, public servants, youth, the ordinary Dominican. Listen to their stories. No limitations, no restrictions, no holds barred. In the Spotlight, we'll also spotlight interesting topics, issues, and relevant situations. Don't miss In the Spotlight on Q95 FM radio every Monday night from 8 p.m.
Auto Trade Limited is about to get Dominica rolling with our full tire service promotion. Our Goodyear, GT Radial, and Salem tires are excellent quality at unbeatable prices. Up to 25% discount on selected tires. There are many ways you can get stuck with a tire. Not at Auto Trade Limited. Our brand new tires keep you rolling to safety. Call us at 767-255-6891 or 767-255-6878. Available while stocks last. Remember, worn out tires won't work.
In other news, NBD has dropped their interest rate on vehicle loans to 7.5%.
Babe, turn up the volume on the radio.
The bank encourages customers to take advantage of this opportunity to get full financing on a vehicle with this low rate from now until May 15.
Did you hear that? 7.5% interest rate and full financing?
What's more, 3 lucky customers will get their vehicle license paid for up to 3 years. Visit a branch, call 255-2300 or go to nbdominica.com for more information and other terms and conditions.
Hun, I'm off to NBD.
Babe, wait for me.
Apply for your vehicle loan today. NBD, your partner, your bank.
Okay, before we continue with Joshua Francis, let's take a few phone calls. Hello. Are you a caller? You're not there. All right, let's take another phone call. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, hold on. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm well, but
Okay.
I was just calling the program.
Yes, you can call the program. It's okay. You're on right now.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Mother Border. But the conversation you were having there, that is what that had me going. Because I can clearly recall it was Labour Party that said, if you're not red, you're better off dead.
It was Alex Bodnai. That's the word.
That, and you've seen her behavior in the House of Assembly.
Mm-hmm.
And Matt, it seems like the Labour Party people have used that as a mantra. You cannot get a job if you're not Labour. You cannot get an apartment. They have apartments passing to people that are strictly Labourite. you cannot get any assistance. You said in a small business, they have this program for small businesses going on. If you're not a laborite, you cannot get it. So when the Prime Minister is talking about there's much politics in the system, the Prime Minister is the one who started all this politics before Roosevelt Kerry. Dominica politics ended at least 6 months after the election. But with Roosevelt Kerry and this new regime of laborites, politics continues. People hate on you. There are friends of mine who are laborites who do not speak to me anymore because we're not on the same side. And until Roosevelt Kerry got into politics, I clearly remember my parents being diehard freedomites. And after the election was over, everybody was good and everybody had a fine time. You could still go by your neighbor for a hand of feed. But if laborites telling you you're better off dead if you're not red, why should I give them my hand of fig? Mokatwa vai kama wed putilage mo pour mobile laborites ça? Non man mat, c'est security mette bagay la comme ça, so c'est security pour pourquoi actuellement menti là il ka parler bêtise là ça.
Right, thank you so much. Okay, a lot of people commenting on the Prime Minister's comment when he said Prime Minister has decried what he says is the amount of party politics in Dominica, which seem to be permeating every aspect of the Dominican society. Yes, talk to me.
Seem to be permeating. It has permeated. It has taken root. I mean, Matt, there are certain boards in Dominica that's supposed to act as independent boards. And that is not the case because the Dominican Labour Party has hijacked these boards. For example, the Electoral Commission.
But do you blame the politicians, though, or do you blame the people who have been appointed on these boards, who themselves becomes politicians and make everything partisan politics?
I blame all of us, man. And some level of blame, if not blame, but understanding has to be attributed to the type of Westminster system that we have.
Right.
As I've always said, the type of political system that we have is that the winner takes all. And in that situation, the winner has absolute power. So, as an example, the Dominican Labour Party has absolute power and the parliamentary opposition has no power. So instead of inviting the opposition to form joint committees in the House of Parliament, the government wants to marginalize the opposition. It is evident. For example, even when they have groundbreaking ceremonies in certain areas in Dominica, they do not invite members of the opposition. They do not want to debate with members of the opposition. They do not want to do any joint effort or collaborative work with the opposition. And the reason being, they want to marginalize the opposition to the extent where they will appear to be responsible for anything that is good on the island. And as such, in the next general election, the electorate can give them the support.
You think a lot of victimization is taking place because somebody who was, of course, made reference to her own situation, where she said, because of politics, she's not being employed.
But Matt, that's a fact. A number of persons are unemployed and underemployed as a result of politics. The persons who have been loyal to the United Workers' Party, given that the party has, that is the United Workers' Party, Team Dominica has been in the political wilderness for some time, those people are being victimized. We hear the stories every day. Their children are not getting jobs. If there are scholarship opportunities, some of their children are not getting such scholarships.
So this is interesting. Your good friend and colleague Thompson Fountain is saying that it was the Prime Minister who said and made it clear to the policemen and public officers that they would not get promoted if they do not toe party lines.
But Matt, that's a fact. Right within the police department, we have several cases like that. You would speak to certain police officers and they would tell you they have not been promoted, or they are not being promoted because of their perceived, and I use the word perceived, support for the United Workers' Party, Team Dominica. Because not only the Labour Party has victimized persons simply because they have the view. Now, someone may appear to be a supporter of the United Workers' Party based on his actions or inactions.
All right.
But there are those who are quiet. And because the Dominican Labour Party officials do not know for sure where they lean, they perceive these people as supporters of Team Dominica, United Workers' Party, and victimize these people. So that's how deep the level of divisiveness and the level of political wickedness is on the island. And the persons responsible for that are no other than those in leadership positions.
Somebody said, Matt, the PM even made the councils to be very divisive. So, Tongue Council, I'm talking about Newtown, Lupier, all these councils are now divided because of this politics.
Yeah, they are a lot of committees, councils, groups, religious bodies that were known to be independent and now quasi-institution of the Dominican Labour Party-led government. And the reason is simply because the Dominican Labour Party-led government has scientifically and systematically employed certain political strategies to keep loyalty to its base and to its leadership. And in view of that, the damage has been done, and to repair that damage, we have a lot of work to do. People seem not to have the will to stand up, to no longer be involved in discussions of enlightenment. For example, when I have certain activities in my constituency, as an example, every Christmas I hold Christmas parties. I would write letters to certain businessmen and they would say to me, sorry, I cannot assist because that is politics. I try to say to them, helping a child or giving a gift to a poor child is not politics. I have a political role. You cannot run away from the political reality. Somebody has to represent you politically in parliament. But people have developed fear. People are in fear of reprisals. They do not want to see themselves associated with certain politicians in fear that they will suffer. And that's unfortunate, because Dominicans must understand that we are Dominicans first. Before you're a Labourite or a United Worker Party supporter or a Freedomite, you're Dominican first. We are people first. We are Christians first. And that's why we need to redefine our leadership on the island. And that's another reason why the Dominican Labour Party-led government has to be replaced. Because this government has not only done damage to our economy, not only it has taken hope from our children, not only it has not managed the environment properly, not only it has failed in implementing policies to better our lives, but it has created a situation where our families are being undermined. And once your family is undermined, it means society is going to suffer at large. Another reason why we have to replace the Dominican Labour Party-led government. So I'm urging Dominicans to remember that we are Dominicans first. I always remind people that you do not know what your tomorrow bringeth. If you're walking on the road and you fall, you don't know who's going to pick you up. If you're in your house and you fall sick in your yard, you do not know who's going to pick you up. And this foolishness of people getting upset with your neighbors simply because of politicians needs to stop. But again, when we have a leader like Roosevelt Skerrit, who is divisive, who uses deceptive strategies, ungodly strategies to stay in power, then these are the consequences.
All right. Somebody says that everything that the Prime Minister is saying these days and doing is based on advice from the public relations firm. Let's take a phone call. Hello.
Yes, good afternoon.
To you too.
I have a conversation with you, Josh, Honorable Parliamentary Representative for the Rural South District. You know, you and I kind of acquainted, and some of the issues that you refer to as far as, you know, division in our country between people based on party lines, and then you look directly at the government to, you know, as being the cause of it. I think it may be the political system, but I would like to extend it to the fact that even within our social organizations, and I'm going to talk about sports because that is something that's close to my heart and something I'm passionate about, especially concerns youth. And I'll just refer to the example of my past experience with the Dominica Football Association elections recently. And we talk about partisanship and victimization and so on. But, you know, the fact is that I experienced a great deal of partisanship from your host on this radio program, for example, even in the community itself, among the football organizations, the clubs, the teams. I approached it as, hey, I'm a one person, and I have an idea I want to share with my colleagues, my brethren in sports. And I was denied the opportunity to address teams and clubs. I wasn't given an opportunity to sit down.
Denied by who?
Well, the organizers, the leaders. Even at one point where there was a discussion on a radio program where they invited all the presidential candidates, I was omitted from that discussion. And you know, the thing about it is that it begs the question of integrity. Because if I had been on that panel and one of the members of the people who were intending to run for president was excluded for no reason, I would have protested. But because of the lack of integrity in society generally and the fact that we're all trying to protect our little interests and exercise control and...
I was not the one who denied you an opportunity, but let me just ask you at this time so the world can hear. Did you take the FA to court, and of course a lot of the matters that may have surfaced on that discussion would be sort of a, what do you call it, when you have a matter before the court and you're discussing in the public?
I will address the question after, Matt, if I may. But
no, I'm asking you the question because you're actually accusing the media, and I think I can represent the media here. Weren't you before the court with the DFS, sir? And that is why maybe, I'm just throwing it out there, you were not allowed in that discussion.
What I'm saying, regardless of what you think, the fact is that that's not the case.
I am a media person, so I'm saying that if I have you in front of me discussing the matter, this would definitely come up. And basically, they were preventing you from, of course, discussing the matter in the public. Somebody would have asked the matter, and I don't think it's fair to you, and I don't think it's fair to the media, because they will ask the questions. Why are we always afraid of answering questions? All right, I suspect he's gone, because I will take him up on that one. 143. Hello.
Good afternoon, Matt. How are you doing? Afternoon.
How are you, sir?
Good afternoon.
La Plaine. How you doing?
La Plaine, how you doing?
Good afternoon to La Plaine.
Yes, sir. How are you? How are you?
Blessed.
How are you?
And highly favored.
I gotta agree with you on a lot of issues here. There is a young lady who came to me and told me that she applied for an NEP job, and the supervisor asked her which party she supports, and that was an amazing shock to me. But Matt, I've been trying to get you this morning. I've been trying to get you since one.
What's going on?
Matt, we have a breaking news coming out of La Plaine.
So what is that?
Over the weekend. And unfortunately, I'm going to break the story to the entire nation. I sent out something on social media. The behavior, actually, the continuous behavior of the minister's son alongside with his friends, colleagues on Saturday night. There was a brawl over a gambling game. And once again, Matt, if the commissioner of police had made a decision on the first incident that happened when that's the same individual son that was involved with the beating of the dashing guys, he would have not continued his behavior. Actually, unfortunately, he didn't get actually physically involved this time, but Matt, he was involved in some type of fight and brawl outside of a bar.
Okay, I'll tell you what, I was not there, but I can still talk to you about the matter. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow, so you'll give us an update as to what happened in La Plaine. But for the time being, I think I want to continue with the discussion, as it is going on now, talking about the politics. So please, let's not divert. All right? Hello, talk to me.
Yeah, sorry to call back. And again, I'd like a discussion with Joshua, because like I said, my experience with you is that you basically...
So I'm telling you again, and I'll put you off again. If you can't answer my question, there's no need to call the show, my brother. Don't let me treat you like a police officer. You're asking the question, of course, and I'm asking you back another question. Please. All right? Let's not divert the discussion here. Thank you very much. Call anytime. You're free. Thank you.
Thank you for standing your grounds.
Thank you. Yes, go ahead.
Good afternoon, Matt. Good afternoon, Mr. Francis. Matt, who told the Dominicans, especially the labor rights, when they see people like Mr. Linton, what kind of name to call them? It was scary.
In St. Joseph.
What were you doing, not dividing the people when you tell people that, Matt? Matt, Skerrit think we forget in Montfares. Tell Skerrit we're not forgetting all the dodgy diplomats he have there that have Dominica passport. We don't know if they give it to them. We don't know if it's buy it. We don't know. Those are the things we're interested in. So he can come with all his tactics and talk about divisiveness and all kind of mess he wants to. Tell Skerrit we are not forgetting. Even him, Matt, even in the town hall meeting, Matt, when they're speaking to the people, they're not telling the people exactly what is going on with that CBI and the other part of the CBI, the diplomatic passport that causing all what it causing there. All they're speaking about the people, that is CBI money, and the opposition want to do this, and the opposition don't want to do that. If the opposition come into power, you're not going to get this. But those are the things they're saying. So they're not causing the divisiveness, Matt, because they're telling the people. If that would happen, the money would stop coming and people would stop investing. It's the Workers' Party that causing it, the opposition that causing it. So they that starting it already passed. That is same thing they're telling the people, Matt. The PAL rep for the Carib territory telling the people, the meetings are supposed to over in Roseau since after what time? And the people stayed there, the opposition and them stayed there in darkness because they wanted to burn down Roseau.
All right, Joshua, I'm going to ask you a question which I think sort of ties up in the discussion that we're having here. You are a lawyer by profession, attorney at law. Do you find yourself in a lot of conflict? You know, people saying, I vote for you, but...
Matt, that is very common. Oftentimes I'm reminded, Joshua, I voted for you.
All right.
In that people have a certain level of expectation.
Isn't that a fair comment, though?
It is fair when it is applicable within the political domain, and it is fair when it's equitable. But sometimes people remind me that they vote for me because I may not necessarily meet their expectations. Are they looking for a favor? That is correct. So, for example, if a young man who finds himself in a criminal dispute were to approach me to represent him, and I were to say to him, given the nature of the matter, there's going to be a trial, and as such, he needs to make a contribution. Not necessarily ask him for a fixed fee. He would say, but Joshua, I voted for you.
So because of the vote, they should not pay you?
That is correct. So if somebody would come to me and he asked for assistance to renovate his house, and I were to say, well, I can only give so much, sometimes I'd be reminded, sir, I voted for you. So I want to say to the general public that politicians have a certain level of responsibility, and it's fair enough to have expectations of politicians. But your expectation must be reasonable.
All right.
And that is why I say we must have a re-education to realign the thinking process of our people. And that is for the benefit not only of politicians.
What's to be blamed for that, though, this dependency syndrome?
Well, again, the wider society, not just the politicians. Because civil society has a responsibility to enlighten and educate. And I think a lot of persons have relinquished that responsibility. Again, we have become so dependent.
So what is it you owe? Not necessarily just you. I mean, you in general, as the politician, the person who was voted for, that constituent.
Well, first of all, I personally, I can speak for myself. I'm a servant of the people. I see the Roseau South constituency as an extension of my family. It is part of the extended family.
All right.
And as a servant, I am responsible to assist, represent and advocate on behalf of the Roseau South constituents. Of course, I have limitations, especially in view of the power. A lot of people would like assistance, and I'm not in a position to give it. So, for example, the people of Newtown would like to see an improvement in the sidewalks.
All right.
They want to improve their health clinic. Joshua Francis would love to provide such, but given that I'm in the opposition, I do not have the power, I don't have the financial chest, I don't have the administrative power to make sure these things happen. My hands are tied. Nonetheless, my responsibility as a parliamentary representative is to continue to remind the government of Dominica that the people of Newtown wants a health clinic. They want a modernized and upgraded health clinic. They want improvement in their sidewalks. The young people want jobs. The fishers want assistance, technical assistance, financial assistance, just to name a few. So overall, I would ask the Dominican public to be reasonable in its quest or pursuit in receiving representation. But again, the Dominican Labour Party-led government
and
has
you're saying that all across the board, whether it's the Labour Party, United Workers' Party?
All across the board, Matt, because when a parliamentarian gets $2,900 at the end of the month, he has his responsibility. I am more fortunate than many politicians. I have a profession. I have an office which I operate. In my case, most of my parliamentary salary is donated to the constituency. Some parliamentarians cannot do that. Some parliamentarians, cannot do that because that's all they have to take care of themselves and their families. And I think that some of the constituents are unreasonable when they make certain demands. The members of the Dominican Labour Party are in a better position in that they have access to taxpayers' money, they have access to grants, they have access to monies from other sources, and as such they use it and politically abuse the system. So currently, we have the Dominican Labour Party-led government going to and through the island, north to south, east to west, making promises and in some cases actually delivering money. They have that power and they're abusing the system because what they have done is to make Dominicans dependent on them. And because money has power and because people are impoverished and people are in economic desperate situations,
I'm going to have
dependent on the government.
I need to have a very open discussion with a few politicians on what that constituents can depend on from you. Of course, they have expectations.
Well, they do. In my case, again, I can speak for myself. I provide service. I'm a servant. I provide service within the legal fraternity. I assist people all the time. Sometimes I take my entire day providing legal representation pro bono for my constituents. I provide financial assistance. My office provides educational opportunities whereby we assist young children who cannot read and write. We provide financial assistance to renovate houses. We give representation to persons who are looking for something from the government. We sponsor football leagues, football teams. You know, of course, I go to Parliament and I advocate. I write letters on behalf of my constituents, and I think that every member of Team Dominica United Workers Party will do the same and have been doing the same.
I can't call him just a constituent just yet of yours, but of course he wants to take you on some debate. It appears about something that happened recently. He called.
Matt, just call a spade, because that's where I am with Dominica right now. I am not going to be hiding and, being diplomatic on certain things. If somebody wishes to say something to Joshua Francis, you can come out clearly and cleanly and say, Joshua, this is the case. I have absolutely no difficulty dealing with the naked truth with Dominica.
All right, of course, and we'll be having a lot more discussions on this. Hello, talk to me.
Matt, let me answer your question quickly so I can have a discussion with the parliamentary representative.
Answer my question while I'm giving you some time to think, yes.
Yeah, the fact is no. My situation with the DFA and I'm standing up for justice and rights had nothing to do with what was going on. And because I don't know why that would have anything to do with, for example, when you said...
I'm telling you that you had a matter in front of the court, sir, all right? The matter would come up in discussion if you are with the media. If you don't know about the media, because I suspect sometimes you try to educate me on just the responsibility of the media. It's just like, of course, we go to Roosevelt Skerrit, you expect certain questions from the media. And I think, if a discussion like yours defending the media, it would have come up. That's basically what I was telling you. Now you want to ask Mr. Joshua Francis a question, be direct.
Yeah, okay. Just to retort to you though, because if I was in a situation and a court matter was to come up, I would have simply said, well, maybe it's a matter that's left to discuss in the court. I'm going to leave it at that. That is something we could have dealt with easily. But going on to, Mr. Francis, I think it's reasonable, and I'm saying that my direct experience in the public is that there's partisanship and division and manipulation and victimization across the board in our society, just like I experienced with Mr. Peltier just a minute ago, and as I have been continuing to experience in the media. So what I'm saying to you is that we need to address these type of issues at the community level, on the ground, and we should all just stop blaming politicians for everything, because the politicians are a reflection of the society.
Earlier that all of us are responsible, because at the end of the day you are correct. This is not just a political issue. This is a society issue. This is a national issue. When a country has left patriotism and has forgotten national identity and rides on political or partisan politics, then the consequence is divisiveness. So ultimately the onus is on Dominicans to correct that sin. It is not just the politicians, it's not just Roosevelt Skerrit and the Honorable Lennox Linton. The religious leaders have a responsibility. You have a responsibility. Our sports leaders have that responsibility. The leaders of civil society is responsible to realign the thinking process or the thought process of Dominicans. And I think we have to start and keep working on it. And hopefully sometime in the near future we'll be thinking differently.
Are you satisfied, sir?
That's a commendable answer, sir. And I think that is where we're at. And that's what I'm saying, that we as a society need to reflect on that. And some of us need to stop pretending that we're all holier than thou and good. And stare ourselves in the mirror and say the same things we're accusing other people of, we're guilty of them ourselves.
I'll tell you what, every political party, if you don't know, every political party may be accusing me of something else. So that's why I love about me. Every political party, be it the opposition, the Labour, have invited the Prime Minister and his team here, more than one occasion. They may want to refuse, Joshua, but that's their choice.
Right.
Thank you very much. Hello.
Good afternoon, Matt.
Yes, hello.
Matt, we're talking about what Roosevelt Skerrit said.
Yes, he says that you guys are too political.
Matt, I am not going to discuss that at all. I want Roosevelt Skerrit to talk about electoral reform and voters' ID, Matt, because that's what we need. Roosevelt Skerrit cannot just say something, run off, and expect us to run with it until he comes back or so. He's just trying to divide us.
All right, thank you very much.
But if I'm allowed to
we have a little more time.
First of all, we have to be reasonable.
Yeah.
I cannot tell Roosevelt Skerrit what kind of conversation to have. I cannot tell him where to go and what to tell his supporters. I cannot tell him what to tell Dominicans. We, as a parliamentary opposition, we have to be focused. We have to continue to speak the language we want to speak. And ultimately, Dominicans have to decide what they want. Dominicans have to decide whether they are going to allow the Prime Minister to have a certain conversation and not question him, or not to encourage debates, because ultimately we are responsible for the leadership of the island. It's not just our political leaders, and that's why I made the point that all of us have a collective responsibility to get involved in social dialogues so that we can enlighten each other for the betterment of the country.
I, of course, want to support you 110%. We're going to take one final phone call. I know it's coming from the diaspora. Let's do that. Hello, talk to me, because Joshua and I intended to talk about 5 or 10 minutes. See what happened? Hello, talk to me.
Yes, Matt. Good afternoon to you, Matt. Good afternoon to your guest, Matt. Matt,
yes.
While I'm of the opinion that we should have no hatred, no bitterness towards each other, Matt. Matt, Mr. Skerrit really need to tell the people of Dominica. Mr. Skerrit is the one that causing all this hate, all this bitterness, based on his dictatorship style of governance, Matt. We are seeing this hate and this bitterness move from strength to strength in Dominica, Matt. And Matt, I know nobody wants to lose their job, but Mr. Skerrit has realized that his job is on the line. So he's trying he's in all psychology to see if he can regain the trust.
Well, in other words, you can't really dictate to him what psychology he can use or not use. So again, it's his choice. Somebody was calling me a while ago, said, Matt, why do you repeat Skerrit on Q95? I said, you know what? You have to listen to all the radio stations. All.
Well, Ahmad, I commend Q95 for that, because unlike DBS, Kyrie FM, the Chronicle newspaper, Voice of Life, Marpin, Q95 entertain politicians and prepared to listen to members of the government.
Anyone, Joshua.
But again, it goes back to the type of governance we have. We have governance crisis in Dominica because we have a leadership that has stifled debate, that has stifled enlightenment, that has stifled truth. But you can only hold on truth for a period of time. Truth is on the rise. The veil that is on Dominica is slowly going away, and the people are rising. More and more people are joining the movement of Team Dominica United Workers Party. They are coming to the realization.
Going somewhere tonight, Joshua? I heard you in Wharton Waven last night, firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, I just went up there to lend support to my friend Ronald Charles. I have work to do in my office. I have, court matters, and that's a priority. But of course, I'm always there to represent my people and to continue to advocate on their behalf. All
right, I'll tell you what. I told you only last week or this week, that this guy is bad, and we have to wrap it up at this time. We have to wrap it up. Yeah. Just for another time.
Well, all the time, Matt. Let me just take the opportunity to say a special good afternoon to our listeners and to tell them to enjoy the Easter holiday. It's Easter, not just a holiday, but more importantly, it's a time to reflect. I'm calling on the nation to reflect, to ask ourselves true questions. Are we true Christians? Because if we are true Christians, we definitely reject Roosevelt Skerrit and the Dominican Labour Party in the government. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Next here, of course, Digicel Hour.